Okay. So in the previous video, we made two models that we needed for parsing the latest getting movies out there. So now, as we thought, we'll be coding the repo or the repository class. So as usual, we'll make a new folder and name it as repository. There you go. And let's just name it as movie repository. Okay. Dot. There you go. So now, what will we do in movie repository? Okay, I'll explain you what we will do if I increase speed. There you go. So now what we will do is that whatever we created in the model, we will try to use one of the functions in that model. So I'll just explain you what we are trying to do. But first of all, let me just declare a few variables that we're going to use here more than once. So we are using APIs, right? And API has different endpoints. So we will create the functions to get the data or the response of all the different endpoints in this Dart file. So currently we have used this endpoint. Okay, we have used this endpoint to get this data, and we will parse on this data of results. Now there are multiple endpoints that we will use in the future. So all the things will be mentioned over here in the movie repository class. So here we need to define a few things. So first of all is like where API key. Okay, first of all, again, for all those who are thinking of using the same API, I'm gonna deactivate it as soon as I finish this video. So don't think of using this. I'm copying this, and there you go. I'm pasting this where API, and there'll be a main URL which will be used again and again. I'm just copying this till the 3 because this is the main URL and endpoints will differ. So I just use this main URL once, and I can use URLs in different points when I need this. Okay, there you go. Now let's just static because I need to use this again and again. And now what I can use is that now in URL. Now this will have something as $. Dollar, and this is main URL. There you go. And which endpoint do you want to use now? So we have used this endpoint, which is movies and now playing. So I'll just copy this thing, movie and now playing, and paste here at there. So there you go. So I think, yeah. And also one more thing that, if you want to get the data from URL, there are various packages out there in Flutter. There's a DO, there is Axios. We have used DO out there. And if you want to download DO from the Flutter dev, you can. So there you go. DO, nice name, DO is DO, and there you go. So here you go, import. Now we can use anything that we want in this, okay? I mean, seriously, you got the power. I'll explain you how you got the power. Okay, so here, let's say that, let's say I'm just thinking of naming which name to give, okay? So let's say I'm getting get playing movie repo, and I'm just making a function out there which I'll use to call in future. But how do I call this? Like, what do I do now? So in here, we are going to call this now playing URL, and the return will be in the form of response. So response is equal to await, and you have to use the DO that you got, DO get, and now what? Okay, multiple things to encounter first. Whenever you're using the await, we have to convert this function to async. There you go, one error gone. Now one more thing, that if we just do that, get, and we place this now playing URL, it will not work. Now there is a reason behind this, because we have to pass the parameters as well. Now what does parameters mean? Parameters means that we have to pass the API key, we have to pass the language, we have to pass the page number. So there you go. You can find everything in the documentation. Okay, I have found from there only. So API key, you can use API key. I'll just show you where I got this documentation, so you might not have to search it again. Language, EN, like English, that's why I'm writing EN US. and I just want one page, so I really need to work on my typing. Okay, there you go. And here, what we can do is query parameters and params. Nice. So this thing is almost done, and now we need to return something. Okay, so what are we planning to return? So this will get the data in form of a JSON. Like means it will be in form of string. So let's just, how do I print this? I have no other option. Okay, so this will be in the form which is yet to be parsed. Okay, and we have already made something which will help us to parse the data. Now, yes, you remember correctly. Like means that when we call this, it will result us in this format. We need to parse this so that we can use it in our screen. That means the page template. Okay, so let's say that return, and if we can use movie response dot the name and movie response. First I need to import this. Okay, now I can at least use something from JSON. I'll explain you guys that this much be too much, but it's worth. Okay, now all the blocks will start connecting. So response was something which was resulting this. We want to parse this. So initially we have this whole data. Now whole data will be passed on to movie response. And movie response was something which was made specially for this purpose to accept the data in such a format. It was accepted, it was made in such a way to accept the list. And we have used it for the right purpose. But there is a problem. Now, if you go in the from JSON, it is auto-generated. It will expect a string, but we have here data. So what we can do is that we can just use this to modify this to map dynamic, and we can remove this part. Look, it will work fine. Okay, so now it will parse the data that we have got here in the movie response, and movie response will eventually pass on the data to the movie. And movie was made in such a way such that it will extract only these attributes from the set that it is getting. This set what it was getting, and from it will extract only these attributes. Okay, so I hope that now you are starting to understand. This might be a little hard, but not hard. Let's say if you practice, you will get it. But I'm trying my best to explain you. Okay, in the next video, we will make a block. In block, we will use this repo as we made in this video. In next, we will use the block, and in this block, we will use this repo. Okay, just a quick recap. Initially, we made a model. We used a repo to use that model. Now in the next video, we'll make a block to use this repo. Okay, just stick with me and practice it. Okay, yeah, we'll see you in the next video. Thank you so much. Bye bye.